really put an end to the 60s. As soon as it came out, that ride was over.
When did the Smothers Brothers go on? Because that was very different than Laugh-In, but it sort of had a similar...
No, I was never on that show. People think I was. I know them. But it was on about the same time.
But it didn't last as long.
No, there was protesting.
Right, yeah.
They won their case afterwards in court. It was a long time. They took them off the air. There was a petition against them at the time.
Now, before Laugh-In, had you been doing nightclub stuff for a long time?
Sure. I've been doing things in this city going back to 1950, 49.
Oh, so you've been around.
Sure, amateur nights constantly. In 1952, the biggest place for amateurs was on 76th and Broadway. That was like a Copacabana for amateurs. It was called the Lighthouse Cafe. 76th and Broadway, right near the Beacon Theater.
Yeah.
It's amazing how times change. I met somebody from there last week or 2 weeks ago. And then I went to a lot of places. In 1950, I went to the Blue Haven, another big place in Jackson Heights, trying to win something, trying to test out. Elizabeth, New Jersey, went to the Blue Room out there. Plenty of clubs. Remember that place?
I'm from Elizabeth, New Jersey.
Really?
Yeah, 72.
There was a place called the Blue Room. At that time, I was known as Larry Love.
That's a good one.
This is DJ named Larry Love. Incidentally, you know, it was a few years ago when we first opened the Palladium. It was the opening night. A few days after the opening night, Tiny Tim walks in and everyone's like, "Hi, it's Tiny Tim."
What was that?
Man, what was that? 2 years ago.
Was that 85 when they opened it?
Perhaps, yes.
That was 85.
Yeah.
Oh,
Steve Bell was still alive.
May he rest in peace. What a wonderful man. But what was your name again? I'm sorry.
Scotty.
Mr. Scotty.
Tiny Tim walked in and everyone was like, "Yeah, this is my man, Tiny Tim."
That's right. That was the opening night. That was the opening night. If I'm correct on that.
I wasn't there the opening night, but I remember it was covered on all the news stations, and it was a really big
85. That was July or August.
It was in the summer. It was in the summer.
Right. It was definitely 80, 85.
Yeah. You know, you become a household name, Tiny Tim.
Oh, I know.
Everyone knows you. Just about past 4 presidents know him.
I'm sure.
Everyone knows him.
Oh, well, good or bad, you know. That was 85. It was a great night. I went right from the circus to that place.
Now, when was this?
In 85.
Oh, you were in the you went to the circus?
I was working for the Great American Circus. Ellen C. Hill. We were going night to night from town to town. But I was just near New Jersey, and I went. A car came. They took me to the Palladium.
Well, when you started out in New York though, like in the early 50s, and then how did you end up getting to Los Angeles, or did you by that point you were probably going back and forth anyway?
Well, I was working in New York in 1967 on 46th and 8th Avenue, a place called Steve Paul's Scene.
46 and 8?
Right. I was right down, right off 46th Street. If you're coming from 9th Avenue, it's on the left-hand side. And it's a little cellar goes down.
The restaurant row. It's the restaurant side?
Yeah.
Well, it was right on. Anyway, so I was. Mo Austin came in one night in August of '67 on a tip from Peter Yarrow, Peter, Paul, and Mary, who I did a movie with, you know, called "You Are What You Eat." At that time, for free, didn't bother me.
Yeah.
You know, it was great to be with this great star. And apparently, he heard about it. He came to see what he saw and signed me up. In '67, it took me right to Hollywood, where I made the album in the early part of '68, and then he released it in May, and the rest is, you know, the story.
Yeah. So do you want to do something for us?
Yeah, I'm going to do a number with my wife. That was Jan that we did. Oh, get his voice.
Yeah. No, okay, here we go.
Oh. When it's springtime in the Rockies, I am coming back to you, little sweetheart of the mountains, with your bonny eyes of blue. Once again I'll say I love you, as the birds sing all the day. When it's springtime in the Rockies,
So, could you have another one?
Well, I know we can do it together again. Huh? Well, I don't decide anything, Tiny Tim. Come on, please.
Encore.
Well, I know that. The voice tonight.
For a minute.
Okay. I don't know. I know this voice is so shot now. I know what we can do together. So Moonlight Rose. Well, what else do we do besides that? Okay, let me get you key on Moonlight Roses. No, too low. Moonlight Roses. Too low. Well, tonight's too high with his throat. Moonlight and roses.
Moonlight and roses.
Oh, I will try to this key. I will do that.
Well, be a little higher you are.
Just Moonlight and roses bring wonderful memories of you. My heart reposes in wonderful dreams come true. To light discloses love's golden dream starting anew. Moonlight and roses bring memories of you. Let me give you a number, just a shorty, whatever this boy's gonna last. One of these great songs. Smile. Well, in fact, this song I want to introduce Margaret Whiting. Was, her father wrote this during World War I, and it goes like this. Smile the while you kiss me, Xanadu. When the clouds roll by, I'll come to you. Then the skies will seem more blue. Down in Lover's Lane, my dearie, wedding bells will ring so merrily. Every tear will be a memory. So wait and pray each night for me till we meet again. Yes, the war is over. The war is over, but we can't forget those wonderful boys who died for us. Their fathers are all waiting. I am hearing. So smile a while. You kiss me, Xanadu. When the clouds roll by, I'll come to you. Then the skies will seem more blue. Down in Lover's Lane, my dearie, wedding bells will ring so merrily. Every tear will be a memory. So wait and pray each night for me till we meet again.
Great. So, have a seat. Let's talk some more. Scott, you should sit over on the couch so we can if you want to have a conversation. I don't know.
That old parts will cut out the Moonlight song.
Pardon me?
That Moonlight song.
No, Tiny.
No, it was good. It was nice.
Music.
It's nice. It's free flowing,
All right.
So now, is that the same ukulele?
No, I've had this about since '89, but this is about $150 with the electric. This plays electric, and
Let's see.
It's an old Marty. It's plays electric. Probably the only ukulele electric player in history. Thank you.
Mason and Sheets.
Whatever town I go to, if I do a radio show, they have stickers put on it.
Tell you, if we were to ask, each and every president, the last 4 presidents of you.
Oh, you're still on the president
No, it's
thing.
amazing.
But it is true.
How far, you know, I went through the emergency.
Well, they might say they never heard the name.
Did you ever go to the White House?
No. Be a thrill, but I never went there. Usually politicians run away from me.
Why? Well, I won't be one.
Well, but now you'll be running. You'll be a politician yourself if you're running for vice president.
Well, yeah.
I'd vote for you. I'd vote for you and Pat Paulson.
Oh, so you're thankful. Good to hear these days. But I tell you one thing. If I were president of this country, and this is true, first of all, I'd do two things. I'd abolish two-term presidency. I think like in the days of Roosevelt, President Roosevelt, people should vote for a president as much as they want to, because once you have a two-term limit, they can do anything they want the second term.
That's true.
You see, and so that's number one. Number two, if I were president, I would start what I call a 10-year moratorium. Let's say 1995.
Right.
I would declare right in the presidency that starting in the year 2005, every television set, every automobile, every washer and dryer must be bought new. We will not allow used things before the year 2005 to be sold or used in houses, roadways, wherever. The reason for that, we have too much on hand right now. In the old Depression, we had too little on hand. The cars, the stores are filled with stuff with cars and other things. They must start to work again, get into the factory, start saving their money. So the year 2006, they've got the car from 2005.
Right. Yeah, it would.
See what I mean? Of course, it has to be more, organized. But the thing is, we have too much on hand. The dollar isn't moving because we're stocking up on old goods.
And would you have good parties in the White House? Would you have good parties in the White House?
Good parties?
In the White House?
It all depends. Not on the taxpayers' money.
No.
Not on the taxpayers' money. Of course not. But I would also start socialized medicine immediately. I would also start socialized rents. That where all the rents and the medicine are paid for. There is no problem with old people anymore. However, I would also start a thing with crime. At 8 years old, if these kids are no good for school, ship them off to child labor laws, should ship them off to other countries where they can build up the other countries again and not waste time in jail or lingering around. Because I do believe that an idle mind is the devil's workshop. I think we have too lax laws here. I think crime does pay. And basically, another thing I would do, is that I would certainly have, remember my mother was Jewish, my father was Catholic, I do believe in Jesus Christ as the answer to life. And I would definitely have that preached 15 minutes in every school. If people believe in other things, they don't have to listen to that. But whatever happens, I would use the armor of Jesus Christ in the schools to protect them against the outside when they go out to the world and they face the devil's handicap. You see, so this is another thing that's being done. Then I would also have a state law. Mothers and fathers, listen carefully. If your son injures another son in school, listen and read it carefully. Don't cry later. I have it stamped on. For every injury, he gets the same injury. And if there's death, into the chair, no matter what the age is.
Eye for an eye.
Well, I really believe that in this case now. Apparently, the scriptures does not really work in this day and age. It was great. Even Jesus Christ, when he was hit by one of the Romans, said, "Why are you doing it for?" It was hard for him to bear. So it might have been, it's good in certain cases to turn the other cheek. But in this case, when you're losing a child, when you're losing an arm of a kid, definitely you've got to put teeth in the law. You pay for the cops, you pay taxes for the cops, and then when they do their job, you cry wolf. So basically, I would start a child labor law at 8 years old. Then I would definitely state that the taxes to avoid future things, the taxes for the government should be taken off the salary pay. There's nothing wrong in raising taxes as long as the public gets something for it. Socialized rent, they don't have to think about the landlord. Socialized medicine. They don't have to think about the old age.
Every other Western industrialized country in the world has socialized medicine but this country.
Well, the thing
Except for
is,
South Africa.
well, and not only that, but I do believe socialized rent.
Yeah.
But so if you come home with a paycheck of $100 and you're rent free, whatever, then there's no problem. You know, because you're not spending anything like that. It's for the mass. However, the next thing it just slipped my mind. Yes, the subways. Now this is a disgrace that the subways are $1.25, whatever it is. I mean, the subway should not be higher, not higher than 25 cents each way. I mean, and in order to raise these taxes, you know, once more I go back to the situation where in 10 years nothing is used than the year before.
Right.
I mean, you've got to get the dollar.
Yeah, well, that will take
you can't
everything
blame Japan for this now. They hustled after World War II. They did not lay on their rear end. They hustled. They tried to get back right after the war. They're winning the peace. Now, America is in the same position they were before December 7th, 41. They were eating and drinking and having good times. Mm-hmm. And now they're finally waking up that their products are not selling. Right. They're waking up 42 years too late.
Did you ever go to Japan?
No.
Have you ever been to Europe?
Yes.
England. Do they know you in Europe?
England, they do. A little bit, very slightly in Germany and France.
Because the show wasn't shown there. The last.
It was, but it was shown here and there. Yeah, in Germany. It's being sold in Germany and Spain, Holland here and there, England, but not as great as England and Australia. Australia and England are two major ports.
And you say you've been there a number of times.
Well, to England about 3-4 times, but never to Spain or Holland. Germany once, France once, and Australia 9 times. Hawaii and Guam once. The Philippines once.
The Philippines. Huh. Amazing.
And also, in my opinion, also that fathers who kill children should pay the penalty. You can't mix around. I mean, it's a very strange situation we're facing today. Where we have too much on hand, and there must be an end to that. But I'll tell you another thing, to get off this lightly. What I do see, praise the Lord for his blessing, what I do see is the next age is the space age. We are coming nearer and nearer to making contact with aliens.
I think a lot of people say that that's already happened, and that it's happening already. Now, have you seen all of these books around of it, or people say they've been abducted, or
That's in the Inquirer, Star, Globe, and the Examiner, and also the Weekly World News and the Sun, which I buy every week.
Right.
And these...
No, but I've seen them on talk shows and things, and some of them are very, they're very serious about it, and they're not really, they're not sure maybe it was a dream or not or something, but a lot of the stories from what's happening to these people have been people who didn't know each other or had no contact, but the stories are sort of similar, so it's funny. But I don't know. I think you're right, though. Eventually, look at how many millions of planets there are in the universe. It's kind of silly to think that the only one with any life on it would be this one.
Fantastic point, Mr. Reagan, Steve Sauer. The point is that that's what I said back in '47, when the radar hit the moon. That was the beginning of strange sightings. Because I couldn't believe there are miles and miles of space on the moon and Saturn and Jupiter without nothing crawling on it.
Right.
And if there's nothing there, then it's the land of the new Columbuses for us to explore. That's why this world will never be overpopulated. The good Lord works His grace too much. But anyway, I believe we're going to be contacted either before or definitely in the next century from even dimensions in this planet, if not from outer space.
That's another good point. Because people talk about dimensions in this planet as well.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
There's something I read in one of the scandal sheets, I don't know if it's the Inquirer or somewhere out in the South Pole somewhere. Who knows what's happening there. But we're on the throne of a cataclysmic thing. This is only the beginning. I just feel it happening. We've seen everything from the caveman to the candlelight to electric light. And now the pot is overflowing.
Yeah,
the answer is out of here.
It's really going quickly now.
It's out of here. Yeah. So, and Steven Spielberg, You know, Jules Verne with his submarine and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Leonardo da Vinci, were all had subconscious revelations from the grace of God to think about the submarine, to think about the wings, which Mr. Da Vinci thought of in the 15th century, whatever, and also Steven Spielberg in his movies they think it's their own head. I believe it's subconscious revelations based a lot of his grace, so that we won't be that shocked when we see these creatures.
Right.
And still we will be. It still will be unbelievable, but at least this is sort of breaks the wall.
It breaks the ice. It sort of prepares people for the concept of it, really, you know.
Hey, you have anything to say on that, Dolly?
Well, I just think what you said is very well put, very well said, and I think that it's going to be a great day when this all happens. It's going to take a while, I think, until the world is able to accept that there are people or living beings in other places. I think we're kind of caught up in our everyday problems here and global problems here. But I think when something like this does occur, it may be a vehicle for uniting the world.
Yeah, and accepting different people themselves as would be who are different from one another too.
Another good question, though, will also be brought out. That in the Garden of Eden, when Eve and Adam took the apple and disobeyed God's laws, and Satan won that battle for a while, until Christ comes back again. The question is, does this apply only to the earth, or does this surround the universe?
The universe, I think.
I agree with you there, but we never know if they're in these different galaxies. They have heard of Adam and Eve.
No, that's
So when this happens, this I think will be the beginning of astronomical. There'll be so many things that religion and science have not even thought of.
Well, Tiny Tim, Miss Jen, we're out of time pretty much, but I want to thank you both for coming by and sharing your thoughts and your music with us.
Mr. Steve Reagan and Mr. Scotty, thank you for your time and your patience coming up here and for putting the noise away. Forgive me for my shock there, but you know, I always get nervous with dogs. And I thank you for your time and your patience.
Thank you.